All right. Good morning. Welcome. I hope you guys had a good week. Hopefully, good start to your weekend. Let's go ahead and get started in a seat. So, sitting cross-legged will work. Again, if you want to sit on something, elevate those hips. You can. Let's just take a couple breaths, just resting those hands on those knees. Rolling those shoulders down and back. So we're sitting up nice and tall. Go ahead and just start to breathe in and out through your nose. Taking that big breath in, filling those lungs, and exhaling it out. Getting big breath in through the nose, and exhale it out through the nose. And let's blink open those eyes. Let's start by reaching those arms up really, really tall. Maybe bringing those palms together and touch at least a little bit closer. And try and pull those arms back a little bit more. And then those hands can come together as those elbows bent. And again, let's make that big circle. Reach those arms out. Kind of back a little bit too, so you start to feel that stretch through the shoulders. And then reach it on up. Try and bring those biceps right by those ears. And bring those palms together. And then those hands can come to heart center. Last time, inhale, reach those arms up nice and tall. And exhaling those hands down. And we'll reach those arms up really tall. But now we'll twist it over to that right side. So sit tall through the spine. Exhale, look over that shoulder as we twist. Inhale, we'll bring it to center. Reach the arms up. Exhale, twist it to that other side. So really tall on that inhale. Exhale, a little deeper through that twist. And then we'll bring it back to center. Let's interlace those fingers behind the back. So control those knuckles down towards the ground first. Hands can come away from the hips. If that's too much, you can even just lower the thumbs forward, fingertips back, and just squeeze those elbows together, or the shoulders together, lifting through that chest. Now keep those fingers interlaced. We're gonna bring those hands over to that right hip, sit tall, and then we'll drop that right ear towards that right shoulder. You can kind of move that head down a little bit, so maybe look down towards that right knee, and then back up. So just really slow movements, feeling that stretch to that left side of the neck. Let's lift that head up. Bring the hands over to that other side, sit tall, and then we'll drop that left ear towards that left shoulder. And those really slow movements, looking down towards that left knee, and then back, forward. And lift that head back up. And from here, with the legs crossed, just slide those hands forward, stretching out through those outer hips. So if you want to walk the front leg out a little bit so the shins are side by side instead of crossed, that might feel a little bit better on the ankle bones. Now we can lift up just slightly. Let's walk those hands over to that right side. And we'll go over to that left side. And then bring it back to center. Sit up tall, switching that cross. the legs, and then just sliding those hands forward, nice flat back. And then we'll lift up slightly. Let's walk the hands over to that left side first. And then we'll go back over to the right side. And bring it back to center. Let's go ahead and roll on over onto those hands and knees. Spread the fingers out, pressing into those palms. Inhale, drop that belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone as we look up. Exhale, we'll round that spine, press the shoulder blades away, draw that belly up and in. And inhale again, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, look up. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, round. Then bring it to neutral spine. Keep those hips high, sliding those hands forward as we soften that chest, down that forehead, down towards the mat. So forehand will likely lower down first. Okay, then maybe that chest can kind of bring its way down. If the shoulders are really, really tight and the head is just hovering, that's okay too. We want to stay a little bit more active. So press those fingertips into the mat, pulling those forearms towards each other. Trying to keep those elbows lifted. Now, if you have a little bit more mobility in the shoulders, those elbows might be touching the ground. That's okay. We just really still want to stay active through those arms and not letting them just soften and relax down. Okay. Couple more breaths here. We'll lower onto those forearms, shift it forward to our plank, stepping those feet back, course nice and tight, chest pulls forward. That's all here for 5. But squeeze those legs together and then pulling those toes toward the elbows. Elbows are pulling towards the toes. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. Soften those hips down, hands into the shoulders. Knees will stay together. Okay, point the toes, send it on back to a child's pose. Okay, then you can bring that, actually keep that right arm or the left arm extended forward. Right hand can come to your head. Hey, just open up and then bring the elbows towards each other. So bring the right elbow to the left elbow, then open it up. And bring it together. Last time, open up. Now this time we'll extend that right arm up, thread it underneath that left armpit, left arm, and then maybe you lower the forehead, probably is more accessible down towards the mat. And then we'll switch. Right arm extends out. Left hand can come to your head. Okay, big breath in, and then exhale, twist, open up. Inhale, bring it back down. Exhale, open up. Inhale it back down. Last time, exhale, open up. Now extend that arm out, and then we'll thread that arm under, again, lowering that forehead down towards the ground. Let it come on up. Okay. Hands and knees, step it back to our plank. Then let's lift those hips up into that downward facing dog. So maybe pedal those feet out, sway those hips. Think about pressing that tailbone up, pressing the heels down. So you can bend those knees as much as you need to, and then think about flexing these quads, so the front parts of your legs in that position, so you get a little bit more stretch through the back sides of the legs. Yeah, let's go one more breath. Then we'll inhale on the toes. Bend those knees. Let's step those feet out top of the mat. Slide the hands up the shins. Half lift. And exhale, slide those hands down as we fold. Now bend into those knees, flatten out that back. Let's rise up to standing, reach up nice and tall. Right hand will lower down, left arm reaches up and over, big side stretch. Inhale it back up, and exhale to the other side. Right arm reaches up and over. And inhale, bring it back up, and exhale, fold. Inhale, find that flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step it on back to our plank. We're gonna drop those heels over to the right, left arm reaches up, then thread that arm under, sticking below that right shin down towards the mat. You can. So reach it on through. Then inhale, send that arm back up. Then back to front plank, over to the left side, right arm reaches up. Threading that arm through. Big twist. Inhale it back up. Lower both hands down. Shift that weight forward as we lower, pausing in that low plank or lowering all the way to the stomach. Point the toes, roll the shoulders down and back, lifting that chest into the up dog. Then exhale, sending those hips up to the sky. Downward facing dog. And now let's inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet, top of the mat. Sliding the hands up the shins for that half lift. Exhale, slide those hands down as we fold. And into the knees, flat back, rise up to standing, reach it up tall. Side stretch over to the right. Inhale it back up. Exhale it to the left. And inhale, reach it up. And exhale, fold. Find that flat back on that inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back to our plank. Side plank to the right side, left arm reaches up. Thread that arm through. Find that twist. Inhale it back up. Exhale down the front plank. We'll go over to the other side, inhaling that right arm up. Exhale, twist. Inhale it up. Hands down. Shift it forward, lower. Inhale, lift it up. And exhale, hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. One more breath. Now let's inhale on the toes. Bend those knees. Let's step those feet to the hands, bringing those big toes together to touch, release a little bit closer. Find that flat back on the inhale. Let's bend into that right knee a little bit more, and then we'll twist. Left arm reaches up. Gaze up towards that left thumb, really flatten out through that back. Lower it down as we fold. We'll go to the other side, lengthen through the spine, then into that left knee, right arm will reach up. Lower the hands down as we fold. Now inhale, rise up to standing, reach up tall. Exhale, bring or sink those hips down into that chair, relaxing those shoulders down. Then we'll bring those hands to heart center. Twist it over to that right side. So core is tight, hips are down, chest is lifting, and then press into those palms. Listen to that elbow as we find a little more twist. Inhale it back to center and twist it over to that other side. So press into the palms, presses into the knees. Bring it back to center, reaching those arms up, and exhale, straighten those legs as we fold. Let's plant those hands down. Step those feet on back to our plank. Lower. Inhale, lift that chest. Exhaling, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Let's bring those feet together. Inhale, that right leg lifts. Exhale, curl that knee to the nose, stepping that foot through. So pressing those hips down towards the mat. And then we'll plant the left hand, twisting, right arm reaches up. From here, lower the hand down. We're gonna walk towards that long edge of the mat, coming into that side lunge over to that left knee. It's good, hands can be on the ground or just at heart center. And then we'll stay low, come over to the other side. Keeping the heels down, hips down, chest is up. Okay, bring it back to center, heel, or walk those hands back to the front and into that lunge. We can hold it here. Maybe the hips press down towards the mat a little bit more. And then again, twist. Right arm reaches up. Hands lower down. Step it back to our plank. Vinyasa. And exhaling, hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Feet a little closer together. Inhaling that left leg up. Exhale, curl that knee to the nose. Stepping that foot through into that lunge. Good, hips press down, core stays tight. Back legs. Back leg is nice strong. So we're flexing the quad almost like we're trying to pull the knee away, but then our hips here are pressing down. And then we'll add in that twist. Left arm reaches up. Lower that hand down. Then we'll walk it over to that long edge of the mat, turning the toes out slightly as we lunge into that right knee. So maybe we lift those hands up, make it a little bit more challenging. Good, we'll keep the hips low, lunge it over to that left side. And bring it back to center. Toes in, heels out, flat back on that inhale, and exhale, fold. Now bend those knees as much as you need to, and lifting that tailbone up and flexing the quads. So getting the front parts of the thighs again. And then fold from there. Then lengthen back out, walking those hands back to the front in that lunge. And hold it for another breath. Maybe the hips press down a little bit more. Now plant that right hand, twisting left arm reaches up. And lower that hand down, go and step it back to our plank. Vinyasa. And exhaling those hips to the sky, downward facing dog. And again, we'll come up onto the toes, bend those knees, step those feet to the hands. Toes are coming together to touch. Find that flat back, bending into that right knee as we twist the left arm reaches up. Lower that hand down as we fold to the other side, lengthen out, bend into that left knee, right arm reaches up. Lower the hands down as we fold. And inhale, we'll rise on up. Standing tall, sink those hips down into that chair. Hands will come to heart center as we twist it over to that right side. So center to the left. Bring it back to center. Reach those arms up. Sink a little lower. And then straighten those legs as we fold. And let's plant those hands. Step it on back to our plank. Vinyasa. Exhaling those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Let's inhale that right leg up. So that right knee to that right wrist. Foot comes across. Left leg slides back. Then when you're ready, lower onto those forearms. Let's just pause it here. A couple breaths in our pigeon. So again, a little more active, pressing the left knee down and forward. Right shin presses down and back. And then come up onto your hands. Step that leg back, down dog. And to the other side, we'll send that right knee or the left knee to the left wrist, foot comes across, right leg slides back. And then when you're ready, lower onto those forearms, rest the head down, press that left shin down and back, right knee down and forward. And then slowly come back to those hands. Step it back to our down dog. And now let's lower down to those knees. Let's come back to that seat, finishing off with another twist and a side bend. So reach up nice and tall, twisting over to that right side. Inhale, bring it back to center, reach it up. Exhale it to the other side. Inhale, bring it back up. Side bend to the right. Inhale it up, over to the left. Inhale, bring it back up. Lower those hands down to the knees, close down those eyes. Take that big breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Let's go one more time. Big breath in and out. And blinking those eyes open. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys back here on Monday.